Yeah. Hey, Anthony. So great to see you. I'm in California.
Are you in heaven?
I, well, anytime I'm in California, that's like heaven.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. Glenn Hausman here, and I am at the Commerce Casino in Commerce City, California. How are you, Anthony?
The Commerce Casino. When I'm in California and I'm around that area, I may have played in a $200-300 poker tournament there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of the best poker rooms,
right?
As far as action. Like I'm not an acting guy, I'm a little tournament guy, but the I watch on the internet. There's a little room in the back, a poker room with VIPs, and there's like $1 million on the table.
Wow, that's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
So this place is pretty interesting. They're doing a big renovation on it. My room was pretty much brand new. It was nice to see. And I got to tell you, Anthony, one of the biggest room TVs I've ever seen in a room. It was really luxurious. I didn't turn it on, but it was really, really massive.
Yeah, but no good internet service. Is that why you're in the middle of the lobby?
The internet was working. Yeah, I'm in the middle of the lobby because for some reason I can't be able to stream our show upstairs in my room. However, I was watching videos and stuff, no problem. So I didn't anticipate any issues. But here I am downstairs on the conference level where the CLIA event was held yesterday, the California Lodging Expo and Conference. It was a lot of fun being here and seeing all of our hotelier California brethren out there.
So what's going on with the travel restrictions, my friend? Let's talk about that.
Well, thank goodness those travel restrictions have been lifted for pre-departure testing entering the United States. Huge relief, I think, for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, Chip and everybody else was so involved in that. And what do you think the percentage of increase will be because of those? I mean, are they anticipating a 20%, 30%? What do the people think?
I don't know. I haven't heard any details on the numbers, but with international travel being suppressed for so long, I would say certain areas like Orlando in particular are set for a big bounty of international guests coming in. That plus with Japan loosening restrictions now coming and going as well, I think we'll start to see the Japanese start to return to Hawaii, for example, in big numbers.
I hope so. And talking about the Japanese market, they were one of the first people to use robots in their hotels. And I'm actually going to be on TMZ in a couple of hours.
No way.
Robots in hospitality. So if anybody out there has any questions or ask me to talk about something individually, let me know. And also, Glenn, what kind of robots have you heard about, and what is kind of you from a travel standpoint? Where do you want robots?
All right. So this is what I'm thinking in terms of what is going to work best. We saw that first generation of hotel robots, which I think are pretty decent. The idea of them bringing something to your room, delivering a little something like the towels or a toothbrush or something, I think that works well. But to think that we're going to supplant human interactions with robots, I think is a big mistake. But it opens up lots of opportunities for robots, I think, back of house to do certain things. And I'm seeing new services, for example, like a company called Dishcraft that I think Thayer Ventures is behind. And you guys could check our interview.
What's the name of the company?
Thayer Ventures is backing a company called Dishcraft. And what I think is interesting about those guys is they will deliver dishes, take them home, take them back to their offices or their factory or whatever. Robots clean everything, and then they'll bring you back. So you could get rid of all of the stuff to clean your dishes, for example, and storage, because you don't have to do that anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'm actually hearing about that.
So I think it's technologies like that. And I'd say another technology, I don't know if you consider it a robot or not, but that technology that we were talking to Neil Patel, the current AHOA chair, where you get to do that check-in kiosk with a video screen with somebody in the Philippines. I thought that is something that's guest-facing, that's kind of in between robotics and humanity, and creates some practicality. Is there anything else that you're thinking about that would be really that you would like to see when it comes to hospitality and robotics?
I think the maintaining and cleaning of the common areas through vacuums, through cleaning the main bathrooms, the lobby bathrooms. and even the bathrooms in the
Mhm.
hotels. I think you're going to start seeing
Yep.
bathrooms designed so a
Mhm.
robot can go in there and clean. Are they going to have? I think it's going to be quite a while before a robot could really deep clean a room. But
Right.
I think you can probably easily design a room where you can have a robot. The housekeeper brings it in, and the robot cleans the bathroom.
That's right. And I do think the first step we're going to see in that are Roomba style vacuums and stuff that'll get the guest rooms
Yeah,
clean.
and you're
because that-
seeing you're seeing that already.
right. And as you know, Anthony, that is one of the most troubling points for hotel owners because their employees are most at risk when doing the bending over and the vacuuming. I believe workman's comp claims that's probably the highest area for it amongst housekeeping.
That's a really, really good point. But yeah, so I think you're going to see robots, but I think you're going to see robots and computers, whatever you want to call them, in areas more back of the house.
Mhm.
And you're going to just see a lot of things used through your phone, checking in like we've
Right.
been doing the key through your phone. So I think texting and doing things through your phone is going to take like you don't need a robot at the front desk to check in. If you're, and I think you're going to very soon get to hotels that you cannot check in at the front desk.
Right.
There must be a hotel somewhere in the country where you cannot check in at the front desk
I'm sure there are.
outside of Airbnb.
Right. Well, yeah, that is a notable exception, but they're not hotels anyway. They'll tell you that, right? So Craig is saying, hey, we saw a robot yesterday at the Clio Expo. And that's true. That was a whole lot of that.
What was it?
What
What was the robot for?
It's for like more of the delivery type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you going to the show at the end of the month? What show is that? The
High tech. Yeah.
High Tech. You're going to High Tech?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I have to. I'm going to be in California, but then I'm probably going to try to get to High Tech too.
Oh,
David
cool.
is telling me I have to go, so
Yep.
I'm going to try to get there.
Yeah, High Tech is an interesting event, and that's a cool thing, Anthony, about the hospitality industry. And one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it because it's so many different industries in one. Here I was at the California Lodging Expo yesterday, and that was focused more on owners and operators. Then we go to HD, and that's focused all on design. And then we do cool things like High Tech, where it's all about that technology aspect. So it's so much fun that we don't just have an industry that has one silo, but so many different things, and we could meet so many creative, interesting people that are really changing the ways that we want to live, work, and vacation.
Okay, can we change subject? I have a question for you.
Sure, buddy.
About 3 months ago, maybe longer,
Yeah.
I was talking. Crypto came up. I don't know where they came up about, and I said it'd be very interesting. I'm going to fix my camera.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see the first time there is a downturn in the market. What happens to crypto? Have you been keeping? Can you keep in touch on what's going on?
I've been seeing that it's cratered big time, and the $500 I put into Ethereum is not looking really good right now.
And why did it crater?
Because it's all made up.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but why did it crater?
People lost confidence, I guess. But why do you think?
Because people needed cash.
You think?
Because of what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the stock market, what's going on with prices, what's going on with gas. And people are like, you know what? I need this short-term cash. I don't know what's going to be like in a year. So I have to pull this out now because, I don't know what's going on. So I need that short-term cash.
Hey,
and that was what I was concerned about. I was like, it's really going to, it's going to be something or it's not going to be something based on this crash. And we haven't seen anything yet.
Well, let me say the closest thing that I can see that compares to it is the big crash of technology in winter of 2000, right? It was that big buildup, the first set of internet companies. Maybe that's what we're going through right now.
It's amazing that most people don't remember that. Like that, I remember being on the Upper West Side working at the Lucerne Hotel, sitting right outside of Zabar's, sitting on a bench. And everybody's talking about, I'm going to buy this stock, I'm going to buy that stock. And like literally the next week I'm on the same bench and everybody's like, everybody's freaking out.
That's when AOL was the darling of Wall Street, right? And AOL was the darling of Wall Street.
Remember when AOL bought Time Warner?
Yes.
I remember probably sitting in that same bench saying, somebody said, hey, did you hear AOL bought Time Warner? I said, you mean Time Warner bought AOL? So like, no, AOL bought Time Warner. I was like, no, I didn't read that. I didn't hear it. But that is not, you're making a mistake. Like I was so sure.
Right.
Like, I was as sure if they're making that mistake as I am. My name's Anthony.
Well,
That's
totally,
like,
dude.
oh, AOL did not buy Time Warner.
That turned out to be one of
Shit.
the biggest corporate blunders ever,
It,
right?
unbelievable in American history.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it looks like you're getting a call with people reminding you about how bad of a blunder that was. So I don't know. Do you think the crypto thing's going to come back? I mean, it will come back, but how long do you think it's going to be in this lull for?
Well, probably as long as this phone call.
Yeah. So a long time then. Anthony, one of the things that we've been talking about, the world has been talking about, at least, well, by the world I mean the United States, is the insane rise in inflation, still at 40 years high. It looks like tomorrow the Fed is going to raise interest rates 0.75% or 75 basis points, as they say, in an attempt to kind of cool off the economy. Do you think that's going to affect hospitality industry at all?
I think it's going to affect everyone.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that the summer in the Hamptons, there's still 30% of the inventory still available. That's saying the people with the money are being very conservative. They're concerned.
Right.
And I think it's going to hurt hospitality. I think I made this prediction a couple of weeks ago that in September, right after summer, you're going to see people holding back that pent-up demand. The steam came out of the kettle already, and you're gonna start seeing rates. And if you want to buy a hotel, I think a year and a half from now is the time to buy a hotel, in my opinion. So I can be wrong, but that's what I'm saying. I definitely think you're going to start to see the pent-up demand really, really. And I think you're seeing it now. I think you're starting to.
Yep.
Although I will say this, I went into the city last night at 9:30. My daughter, who went to see an off-Broadway play, because as you know, my daughter is in the theater and she's helping manage off-Broadway theater in the city. So every night she's going to a different theater. And so last night she went, and I got to tell you something. There's this one off-Broadway theater that has 4 theaters in it. It was packed. Like when I got there, it's like I thought she was coming out. There was one theater, then another theater, then another. All 4 came out, and they were all packed. So
wow.
I hopefully that continues. And one other tangent I'd like to go off on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know the answer to this question is no, but did you see the Tony Awards?
The answer to the question is indeed no.
Okay, I watched it because, of course, my daughter watched it, so I watched it with her.
Uh-huh.
I got to tell you something, man. You cannot compare the Academy Awards to the Tony Awards. The Academy Awards, when you watch the Tony Awards, you can see the difference in actors. Like, they're both talented, right?
Right.
But just like how down to earth the Tony Awards is compared to the Oscars. It was the best award show I've ever seen.
Really?
And the young lady that was hosting it, she won the Academy Award, I think, for West Side Story. She is going to be a super underlined bold star. She's already a superstar, but she has to have her own talk show, her own everything. It was the best. It was the best show I've seen.
Right. I think that's absolutely fantastic. The Tony Awards is not something that I've necessarily gotten into, and I totally forgot they were even on, even though they happen every single June. But what are you going to do? So, Anthony, what made it good? Was there a lot of good slappings or something going on?
Suzanne, can you find out the young lady's host, the name? She was, it was like she was in her backyard with her parents.
Ariana DeBois?
Yeah, so relaxed. She changed her outfit every 5 seconds. She was so funny and incredibly talented singer. Mm-hmm. And it just made the entire production so pleasurable to watch. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And I didn't want to watch it. I was sitting there like, being tied to a chair. I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah. Do you think that they do a lot of performances during the show?
They did a lot of performances, and the performances were good, but it was just the flow of the show. She was funny. She just made it really go. And also I think a lot of the speeches were good, and it's quick, and it just seemed there seemed like to be a lot of hope.
Yeah.
It was really, really good to see. Patti LuPone won for Best Actress.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah,
she must have won stuff back in like the 70s and 80s.
Well, she's right? I think I looked it up. I think she's 76. And oh my God, it's coming to me. She's 84 years old, and her name, oh my God, African American. She was a dancer, not Debbie Allen. No, Debbie Allen. Debbie Allen's 84 years old. She looks like she's 12.
Wow.
I want to make sure
That's wild. All right. While you're looking that up, we got a question coming in from the audience. Jake Odaris, has any market started to see the effect of gas prices? I don't think just yet, but I do think we're getting to the breaking point because my opinion is everybody's still saying, let's go, let's get in the car, let's do this vacation because of the unusual circumstances that happened over the last couple of years and that need to get out and that pent up demand. But I haven't heard any anecdotal or actual data on that. Have you seen or heard anything?
The only data I have is that the Mercuri household has 3 cars, and I'm spending hundreds of dollars a week on filling up gas.
Yeah, that's that's too bad. Maybe you should cut down on certain foods. You wouldn't have so much gas problems over there. All right. So Craig is saying, is the Hausman Smokehouse Swim Club Resort and Dispensary sold out? I'm happy to say that we have not yet been affected by gas prices over at the Hausman Resort Pool Club and Smokehouse. So.
And dispensary, apparently, it's a dispensary.
Yeah, on Friday Night Audit, they started adding that as well. Now, a real question.
Really?
A real question. Kyle is asking, you think career-wise we should be making moves quickly before any type of recession, or we got hit so hard for the last 2 years, does it really matter as much? What's your opinion?
This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I always go for the people I work for. So if you find an environment where you feel respected and you feel good and you do due diligence on who owns it. Because anytime I went to run hotels, I always do my due diligence on where's the money coming from.
Right.
Who owns it? Who manages it? Is the money real money? Is it fake money?
Right.
Long-term money? Are they looking for a long-term hold? So even if you're a mid-level manager, you can get a lot of information on the internet, and also in an interview, you can ask those questions in a very respectful manner. Like, who owns it? Is this an investment or is this a long-term hold? So once I get comfortable with all those questions, whether it's a recession or not a recession, I take the jump and you take a risk. You always take a risk.
Yeah. Plus, Anthony, you should always take a risk. I agree with you, but I don't think it's as risky necessarily as before. When we're talking about how deep this labor crisis is, and I got to tell you, that's mostly what everybody was talking about here yesterday, outside economic factors. And I think that you have an opportunity to make good, meaningful changes without the risk. Because what are they going to do? Unless there's another pandemic, then it can't really lay you off because everybody's already too busy at the hotels and there's nobody working.
Yeah. And I think you need to solve those problems. So if you take over in a new position, you got to stop talking about it and you got to be about it. You got to solve the problem. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody's solving the problem. And so I think that's, it's over. It's not coming back. And it's but getting back to the question, I definitely think that there's always a good time to move if you're moving for the right reasons. So if you're trying, it's like a stock. If you're trying to turn the market the right way, you got to be in for the long haul. So if you're committed to your career, make solid decisions based on, again, how's the hotel bought, who you're working for, and what's the upward progression. If you get all those three answers and you feel good, make a decision. You can get there, and the next day you can be laid off, but it's a risk.
Right. So what are some of the wrong reasons you think that people change jobs?
Money, and they want to fire their boss. They're so pissed off at their boss, they want to fire their boss. And a lot of times, I'd say 90% of the reason they should leave because their boss sucks. But a lot of people move for the money. If you're moving just for the money, you're moving for the wrong reason. You can't just move for the money. I will tell you, I've never taken a job for the money, but I looked at a job and said, "Oh, that's probably paying a lot of money." And then I found out, hey, this is a good job. I'll take it. Mm-hmm. But if you just take it for the money, it's like going to college to make your parents happy and becoming a lawyer, and then sitting at the desk wanting to kill yourself.
Hey. Did you know that was my dad's story, basically?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he was like, literally, when you're an immigrant family, you really want the best for what that first American generation. So my grandparents back in the 50s, 60s really wanted my dad to either become a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or rabbi. Typical Jew thing. So he went down the lawyer route and absolutely hated it and felt tortured by his career for decades until he finally just got out of it.
Really? And he would come home and say how much he hated it.
Well, I was young, so I was protected from all of that. But that was my understanding of the situation at the time. I was in high school when he said, "I'm done with this." But it was interesting to see him actually do what his parents wanted, how that affected him, and then finally at a much older age, in his 40s or early 50s, go ahead and say it's time for me to do what I want to do.
And what did he do?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot. My parents started a mediation business that worked really well. That was really nice. That was before divorce mediation was really a thing, so they were in it early. They created a really nice business with each other because my mom worked as a guidance counselor in a high school. So my dad brought the legal component to it. My mom brought the emotional component to it. And they were very successful helping many, many couples, instead of going to court and wasting all their money fighting with each other, in like 8 or 10 hours, coming up with amicable agreements that they could go their separate ways and not get into big fights.
If they hit that business today, I can get them I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied.
Yep.
Judge lives across the street from me, who's in the Supreme Court of New York State, and she presides over all the divorce cases that come into New York State.
Yeah.
So she's always sending them to mediation. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great thing. They were definitely pioneers in that sort of industry. All right, Anthony, it looks like our guest is not going to be showing up. So I'm tired of burying the headline. I can't believe the big news that happened yesterday. That was a complete shock to nobody, that Choice made a purchase of Radisson Hotels America for $645 million. And I'd like to thank Radisson for advertising us and continuing to do so during this particular state of change. I know that their franchisee is going to be well taken care of. So, be sure to still reach out to Phil Hugh and his team about some properties.
You're very interesting. The only people that knew it was happening was people like you. Most people didn't know that was happening. It's like, it wasn't news to anybody. No, it's news to everybody.
Well, in like the circles that I'm in here, it was like, oh, they finally announced it. That sort of thing.
And I think we called that in a crosswalk in LA, walking across the street with some executive. I think you and I turned to each other and go, "Oh, that thing's going."
Yeah. Yeah. And I've now since learned that I think they were already in discussions at that particular time.
No.
Yeah. I heard. I can't verify.
Dude, they just announced it today. That wasn't too long ago. Of course they were in
That was January. Yeah. It was like 6 months ago. So yeah, it makes perfect sense, right?
Is it January? Oh my God. Everything is going so fast.
I know. It really
my daughter, I said to my daughter yesterday, I go, well, like 3 weeks ago. She goes, Dad, that was 4 months ago. I said, no, that was 3 weeks ago. She was 4 months ago. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. So, Anthony, when you're looking at it, we're going to have one less major hotel company going forward, and this is continuing to happen. We saw it with the Sonesta acquisition of Red Lion. We saw it when Wyndham bought La Quinta. So there's been continued consolidation over the last 4 or 5 years or so. How do you think that's going to affect the business in general?
I because of Choice and Radisson, it's so perfect for each other.
It's such a great deal for both of those companies.
Yeah, it really helps each other. So Radisson has just this huge, back of the house, just the ability to just blow up. And Choice has a really a lot of premium products. So I think it's great. Do I think it's going to affect? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to affect it. Listen, Marriott and Starwood kind of broke that a long time ago. So I don't think that again, in the grand scheme of things, it's a medium-sized deal. It's not, it's not a huge.
It's not a Marriott.
Right. It's a $660 million deal, and that sounds like a lot, but it's in the grand scheme of things. Hilton isn't buying Marriott.
No, no, that would be in the multi billions, right?
Yeah, that would be Elon Musk money.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. You make a really good point. It's really complementary for both organizations. Fills in all of those, what in the industry parlance we call white spaces, with areas where companies don't have brands. So,
and what people don't realize, I mean, if I interrupted you,
go ahead.
Realize is, and it took me a while in being in this business, is you need certain cities if you're going to be a real brand, right? So, not a real brand. If you're going to grow,
one that really makes it into the American zeitgeist,
right? So, if you're in New York City and you have a 3-star hotel and you're a big brand like, say, Choice, maybe Radisson brings a 4-star hotel, or vice versa,
Right.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
Is that really, really is important? I never realized until maybe mid to my career that if I'm a Four Seasons member or a Marriott member, and there's nobody in Vegas or there's nobody in New York, there's no
Mhm.
hotel for me to go to that I'm accustomed to going to, I'm going to try a different brand. So yes, it's a good deal to help them grow, but it's also a good deal for their customer because it gives them more
Right.
choices.
Right. And look at strategically for Choice, it's great because they have not been in that real full service business before. They have Cambria, which is what I call one of those quasi full service hotels where they have some of those amenities, but they don't have like bell people and stuff like that. Right. So
Right.
this is going to give them even some nicer, I don't mean nicer, just higher end products for people to be able to choose from. So in this day and age, the strategy of most brands is to have that whole panoply of brands going from the economy segment all the way up to luxury if they possibly can. This gets them firmly in that upper upscale category that they've been missing, I think.
Yeah. You did it to yourself, Glenn.
What did I do?
You must use Planopy.
Penelope. No, Panoply. Sorry.
You must use Planopy in a sentence 3 times before we get off. Now I can't even say the word. It's one of my favorite words too.
That's too funny. So curious if any of you out there have any thoughts on what this deal means to the hospitality industry, what you personally think about it. Do you like those companies and think they're going to be a great match together? But we got an important question. Did I see Jurassic Park? No, I haven't yet had the opportunity to get over to see Jurassic Park or Maverick. I don't know. It's like the Sophie's Choice of 1980s, 90s blockbuster film to which go see. But Dr. Producer Suzanne, I know, loved Maverick.
Yeah, everybody I hear, my daughter Nina comes home and goes, it's the best movie I've ever seen. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. And she didn't know the first one, right? But I'm actually going this weekend for Father's Day. I'm going to dinner and to see the movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And I'm
not a big Tom Cruise fan, but he was right. Like, we want to see big blockbusters in the theater.
That's right, and he was right to hold on to that movie for 2 years because it's done without relying on that CGI, and that's what turns people on most. Kim is saying, heard nothing about the purchase till yesterday. Kim, you should have been talking to me. We were hanging out at the Choice convention. I totally could have told you all about it, but I guess what are you going to do? Craig says Obi-Wan. I've only seen the first episode of that. All right, so I'm going to definitely go see Maverick, maybe this weekend, and I'm going to wait a little while on Jurassic Park.
Okay, a question.
Yeah.
Have I ever read Harry Potter book?
I'm going to say no.
Have I ever watched Jurassic Park?
No.
Have I ever seen Star Wars?
I hope you saw at least Star Wars.
Have I ever watched Star Trek?
No.
Okay. Oh, no.
You never saw Star Wars, the original?
Not once.
All right.
Wow. I have more interest in Chinese arithmetic than I have in Star Wars.
All right, I'm feeling a little woozy. I need to sit down for a minute over
here. Now, I do want to see The Offer, which is the making of The Godfather. That's what I want to see. That's more my speed.
Yeah, that's definitely more your speed.
Have you heard about that? It's on Netflix or something?
No, I have not, but I'm actually surprised I've heard of The Godfather. So,
Have you ever watched The Godfather?
I did, but it was so many years ago. Yes, definitely. I tell myself every year, this winter, I'm going to spend a Saturday and watch the first 2 of those. I know the third one is, don't even worry about it, but I got to watch those 2. Goodfellas was great. I loved Casino, mostly because of the casino type stuff and that whole old school Vegas kind of vibe.
Yeah, great movie. So yeah, I'm more of that genre than I am Star Wars. I'm not into it. If it's like I kind of grew up in Brooklyn during the day, so that to me was a documentary.
Right.
Those were documentaries.
That's hysterical.
Actually, I was talking to somebody not too long ago that is a guy and or was a guy in life, and they said Godfather couldn't have been more real.
Right. Wow. So how since you know all about this, how did Mario Puzo, who wrote the original book, research all of that he got so much right?
It's a really good question. The person that I couldn't answer the Mario Puzo question about the book, but I can answer this because I just found this out.
Mm-hmm.
The person that did help produce the movie was a great writer, but also grew up a little bit around everything.
Right.
And I'll leave it there.
Right.
And so he used characters that from the neighborhood. He knew the essence of it. Right. He knew, like, if right now, if you ask me to go into, a movie and play a mafia role, I wasn't in the mafia, obviously, but
Right.
I've been around that neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
where I can tell you what's real, what's not real. So they had someone like that. The Mario Puzo end of it, I'm not really educated on that. But I will tell you the contract for the book was written where? I mean, was signed where?
Brooklyn?
The lobby of the Algonquin.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yep. You're welcome. Well, as a matter of fact, lobby of the Algonquin, a lot of screenplays, a lot of writers go there for luck, and a lot of things. My Fair Lady was written at the
Wow.
the Algonquin in one of the suites.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and you know the Hillbillies, the Beverly Hillbillies?
Mm-hmm.
It was based on the general manager / owner of the Algonquin. He was an oil man that he was broke when he was first dating his wife, and they stayed at the Algonquin, and he said, I'm going to make so much money, I'm going to come back and buy this hotel. He became a very successful oil man, came back and bought the hotel.
Right.
And
Wow.
then it was the Clampetts go to New York.
Yeah. All right. Although Mike is saying Anthony would make a great mafia guy, hitman of hospitality. That's pretty funny.
Mike, I
yeah.
know where you live, brother.
That's hysterical. Kyle's got a statement based on the Choice Radisson deal. He believes it's a good fit. He may stare at a Fairfield Inn at one trip, but a Ritz in another. The rewards programs opens the door for aspirational travel, so Choice really needs more full and high choices. I think that's a really good point.
I think that is perfectly said, and he should take Mike's place because that's what you said. But I couldn't even say space correct. I said place. You should take my space.
All right, so I want to talk about one other hotel in New York City, but before that, we're being asked about some other movies you've seen. Have you seen E.T.?
Once, yes.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
No.
Unbelievable. Is it science fiction that you're not a big fan of?
I'm not a science fiction person at all. I'm not science fiction, not even a little bit. No interest. No.
All right. That's interesting.
I believe in UFOs. I believe there's little Martians running around the world, but no, I don't believe in. And people that don't believe in UFOs or don't believe there's potential for UFOs, why can we have this, but there can be another this somewhere else? I don't understand.
No, now you're getting all philosophical. I absolutely don't believe in UFOs simply because it's too far for aliens to travel. But to think that there's no other type of life in the universe, I think is just bonkers. There's billions of stars with billions and billions of planets out there. There's got to be life out there.
Hold on. I can call someone instantly on a video conference in China.
Yep.
And we have that kind of technology, but you're saying if there's another, civilization, they can't travel because it's too far. And there's not enough technology to make that happen. I think you're bonkers.
Why?
Because so many things. We're starting to cure cancer. We're going to the moon. Where there's so many great inventions, and you're saying that somebody can't figure out how to get to the Earth from somewhere else.
I'm saying going faster than the speed of light, according to Albert Einstein, is impossible with the physics that we know of. So I think it's highly
the physics
unlikely.
that we know of.
All right. So if this is funny because I'm the one who likes Star Trek and their warp core technology, which allows them to go faster than the speed of light. You hate science fiction, and here you are arguing on that side.
I hate science fiction. It's not that I hate science fiction. There was never a seed planted anywhere in my universe.
Right.
No pun intended. To tell me, hey, let's go see this. No one in my family ever said, let's go see this movie. Hey, so I've had no one ever helped me into. So I don't hate it. I just don't. I'm not interested in it.
Did you watch a lot of My Little Pony cartoons when your girls were young?
No, I watched a lot of Flintstones when I was young, and a lot
of.
Listen, I love Gazoo because I know Martians are real.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that ties it all in. Anthony, we were talking about the Algonquin, a classic hotel in New York City that you had the honor to operate for a period of time. The Chelsea Hotel just reopened. Another one of those famed types of properties that really was on the skids for a long time, closed for an even longer period of time, it seemed. How do you feel about it reopening and its meaning in the world of hospitality?
The second I'm in New York, which could be tonight, tomorrow, whenever,
Yep.
I will absolutely go to Planet Donuts right next door, get a donut, and walk through that hotel. I am insanely intrigued about that hotel. People don't understand in the 60s that hotel was the epicenter of rock and roll and drugs.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the epicenter of overdosing.
Well, yeah. Well, I want to be. Well, if I say, okay, so rock and roll,
Yep.
drugs equals
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can pull it up, but the who's overdosed there? Did Joplin overdose?
I'm not sure. There's a couple of famous people just like that.
Suzanne, you should be on top of this, Suzanne. You should be giving us notes. Come on, Suzanne.
Hold on, I'm looking it
Be
up.
young, be like young Jamie for like the Rogan show.
Let's see. The hotels featured a collective work of many visual artists. I don't know. Moses Sawyer died there. Nora Sumberg. I don't know these names. Harry Smith. Warhol is associated with the hotel. I can't find. I haven't found a list of. All right. Some of the most prominent names of musicians that stayed there: Chet Baker, The Dead, Tom Waits, Patti Smith, Jim Morrison, Iggy Pop, Jeff Beck, Dylan, Chick Corea, the Ramones, Alice Cooper. I'm just trying to find names that people know.
Patti Smith. You know, Patti Smith lives in my neighborhood.
No way. Joni Mitchell, that same era. Robbie Robertson, Bette Midler, Pink Floyd, Hendrix, Canned Heat. I mean, that was like Rufus Wainwright. Wow, what a hotel. What a period of time that must have been.
I'm trying to find stuff myself, and Anyway, it's hopefully they've done a really good job at.
Nancy Spungen died there, according to Dr. Producer Suzanne.
Given the renowned novelists, poets, painters, filmmakers, and America's first famous commune of artists had lasted more than a century there, and from celebrated books, poems, and songs written at the Chelsea, here are a few of the greatest hits. New York's tallest building. What? I don't know what the hell that is.
It could have been at the time the tallest building because it was over 100 years ago.
Yeah. I don't have enough time to read all that and still look like I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It got so bad. I mean, people were overdosing in front of the hotel. There were people killed in front of that hotel. So hopefully, listen, there is no greater tragedy. There's a tragedy of getting a great, iconic hotel that goes in the trash.
Right.
That's a tragedy. The greater tragedy is to have all of that history, all of those wonderful people that go through those doors and not be able to tell that story, that history the right way, and bring that hotel back the right way. That, my friend, is a bigger tragedy. So I hope they do it to perfection.
Yep. Awesome.
And they had tremendous problems renovating that hotel. That hotel went under renovation, I think, 10 years ago.
Wow. What was do you happen to know what some of those issues were that they encountered?
Financing issues.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was structural things because it was such an old building.
There's probably structural things. I know there's financing issues, and there may have been some tenant issues where tenants that already lived there, and then they had to move to different floors. Right. I understand. Listen, a hotel in New York City is, you can hit an iceberg at any time, become the Titanic.
Right. And we've seen that happen with a number of properties in New York over the last couple of years. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw what happened in Tampa. Let's not talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that.
I still got a twitch.
I know. Anthony, I'm in California. I'm headed home today. Is there anything else you want to talk about before I go to the airport and get stuck for delays?
It's funny. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to California, and you're going
from California home, then I'm going to Florida in a couple of weeks.
Oh, for in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and anyway,
yeah.
What can we talk about? No, just everybody should brace for what's about to happen to the economy in the next 12 months.
Yeah. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking to the Chief Human Resources Officer of Omni Hotels, so that should be an interesting conversation. Yeah, and then on Thursday, Anthony, we got Jennifer Shea, and she's with Marriott Homes and Villas, a part of the Marriott company we haven't explored before. So I'm really looking forward to that particular conversation.
And my friend's executive chef, corporate executive chef at Omni. So I'm
Yeah, and he's been on our show before. I wish I remembered when. It was when
David Harker.
they were
David
just about to open. Was it a hotel in Texas or something like that? Do you remember? Or was it?
They were reopening hotels.
Yeah, right. That's what it was. All right, let us get out of here. Let me find. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to listen to our show, be sure to check out the audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. And if you're watching us on video, if you're listening to us on audio, why not check us out on video? You can find us on our respective social medias. He's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn.
And follow me. I never asked people to follow me, but follow me on TikTok at Anthony
There you go.
Hotels. I'm putting a lot of videos up. And if you want to know the travel essentials, please look at my TikTok. And I also, it's funny. If you stay at a hotel for a day or a week,
right?
Does it change the way you pack or unpack your suitcase?
Yes, okay. It doesn't. It changes the way I pack, but I always live out of my suitcase because 2 reasons. 1, it's more convenient. Number 2, I used to unpack a lot and I would leave stuff by accident.
So when you're living out of a suitcase, do you ever have a moment when you're going somewhere to, you're in the middle from a meeting to a dinner that you're frustrated because you can't find those socks or that underwear or something's not pressed right, or is it frustrating to you sometimes?
It used to be, but then I created systems that I have a routine down right now. I know exactly where my socks are all of the time. And I understand that the first day when I get there, I typically take out all of my shirts, check them, and try to do all the ironing at the beginning of the trip before I start imbibing and staying out late and being social.
Well, I do a video that in literally 3 minutes, my entire thing is unpacked. Everything's starting to get steamed. My toiletries out of the bag, all within minutes. So if you're intrigued by that, watch my TikToks.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go sign up for TikTok right about now, everybody. So go do that. And remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
We'll see you tomorrow.